What's going on, everybody? I'm Ezreal's Company here today with some local gameplay of Zoro versus Smoker, OP02. We finally brought it. I decided I wanted to play Zoro today. If you like putting characters on board and going face, I think Zoro is honestly a pretty good deck for you. A lot of people consider this deck kind of brain dead, unga bunga, just go face, but there's actually a little bit of strategy behind what you're going to play, especially against like someone like Smoker who has a lot of like KO low cost characters. So I can't just throw everything out because he'll very easily just clear board. But turn 1 I throw out a Sunny, which is honestly probably how you want to start your turn 1s. If not that, you probably want to be doing a Nami. But Sunny turn 1 is very, very good. Anyway, we pass it back to our opponent. He has 2 Dawn. Looks like he has the 3-cost Smoker, Garp. He's got, looks like all the Admirals actually. But with that 2 Dawn, the only real play he has here is Garp or pass. Yeah, he's got the Structured at Smoker, Kuzan, or Borsalino, which is actually a very disgusting card. If you have not read Borsalino, it is such a hard card to deal with. Anyway, so he attaches. He forgot that you can't attack on first turn. So it's fine. You know, it's locals. We're all learning the new format. Some people are just getting into the game. And he came from Yu-Gi-Oh! And if you're not familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh!, you can attack on the second turn. So, like, he would be turn 2. So he could technically attack in Yu-Gi-Oh! So he's going to play 2-cost Garp, which actually is kind of scary because that deals with most of my hand. I do need to read it. Basically, it's Dawn attached. If you have 2 Dawn attached, 1 attacking, it can KO a 0-cost. And the Smoker leader, if it has 1 Dawn attached, it can make one guy lose 1 cost. And then if there's a 0 cost on board, it gains an additional 1,000. I decided to go 6 at leader. So basically, his board kind of just clears my Sunny for free if I don't use it. But also, we'll get back to that. I play Magara, which gives my Sunny 3k. So Sunny is right now swinging for 7 because Magara gives it 3 and Zoro gives it 1. So it's swinging 7. So for 2 Dawn, Sunny gets to swing at 7. And that's kind of why Zoro is a lot of fun to play. Like, you just make these little guys super effective at just swinging face for relatively cheap. Like, Sunny's a 3k. I gave it 4 Dawn worth of power for 2. That's insane to me. We pass it back to our opponent. And I was a little bit worried, but in my mind, I was like, well, okay, if he's going to do the combo, he has to have 1 Dawn under Smoker and 2 Dawn under Garp. So even if he does that, he only has 1 Dawn left. So I'm going to lose my board, but at the same time, I can kind of clear his. So he attaches all of his Dawn. And like I said, this is like, so like, I get to play stuff and go face, and he basically has to deal with my board. So I was super okay with him doing this combo. So he uses the leader ability, making that Sunny a 0. So now Garp can swing in to that Sunny for 7. KO the 0-cost Sunny. So for, you know, he clears my board, he goes face for 7. I am going to take this life because it's not worth, and I get super lucky and I jet pistol. I had to think for a second because I didn't think that he was low enough, and then I realized he was only at 6, so thankfully he was at 6. So we jet pistol that, so that does give me some tempo back. So actually that's super huge, which is like one of the other things about like playing red. Like sometimes like you high roll with the events, and what would have been a more difficult game just became super, super easy. Because most of the jet pistol targets are going to just be Kuzan, and that's really it. Anyway, we played Dodon for 2. If you have not read Dodon, on play, look at the top, up to top 5 at a 1 cost. So there's some cool combos you can do where you play Dodon, grab a Nami Searcher, play the Nami Searcher, and then you just get to look through 10 cards just for, it's so good, so good. Which, not the full combo, but I do. So I play Nami, look at top 5. We are going to grab another jet pistol. I'm not quite sure what my other options were. We are going to play a Makino, attach 1 Dawn under. We're going to tap Makino to make Magara gain 3, so he's going to be at 6. We go 6 at leader. And unfortunately, because he had played the Garp, oh, it does look like he has another Garp, but because he played one of his Garps, he doesn't have any 2Ks, so if he's going to counter out of this second attack, it's going to have to be two additional, like 2 cards. And I'm just making sure Makino does exactly what she says. He's currently thinking about this because he knows that I can also swing with leader. Everything else was played. Yeah, he's just thinking if he wants to use the other two, because Borsellino, Rosinante have counter. I just think, I think he also has the, there's a 5-cost Garp that you can rest it, discard 1 to KO, I think like a 2 or less. He does take this life. It's a Sakazuki, no trigger. And then I go 6 at leader. And reasonably, he should just counter out with the Garp. Oh, okay, so he's going to use Smoker. I did not realize the 3-cost Smoker had a counter potential and Rosinante, which makes sense. Honestly, like the Rosinante discard is kind of doing its job on board right now. It's just unfortunate. Like, you know, you want to just save that for when you can't handle an attack. And we pass it back to him, and he's only at 6 Don. And this is why Zoro is actually a lot of fun. You kind of play really, really early game, with the caveat that your late game is kind of, we'll go with scuffed. Like, my opponent only has 6 Don. It's his turn 3, and he's already taken 3 life. Like, he has 2 more life left. And I have basically a full board, so he has to clear board. And it's just like, this is why this deck is actually a lot of fun to me. It's just, it feels fast. My opponent has a lot to consider. It looks like he has a lot of Admirals. So I think like 2 Sakazukis. There's the 5-cost Garp. He's got a Borsellino. Not sure what's happening here. I'm not sure if he wanted to play it or didn't want to play it. So he is going to use it. So plays it. So this is the Garp I was talking about earlier. So you rest, discard, and you get to KO. I think it's a 2 or less. Maybe it's a 5 or less. I'm not quite sure. He KOs the Makino, which is honestly a good target. Because if you don't kill Makino, it's just going to continue to just buff all my 1-costs by insane amounts. So it sucks that you have to attack into Makino, because itself, it doesn't do anything. But if you don't attack into Makino, it's just going to buff all my other 1-costs. Turn gets passed back to me. I should have 7 Don. I do still have the Jet Pistol, so I can really efficiently take out this Garp. And then swing face. So if I attach 1, Jet Pistol, and then attach 2 under the Don or Nami. I can actually attach 1 under Nami. Yeah, so I'm going to Jet Pistol the Garp. I just offered to, because he wanted to just make sure it was 6. I think he asked if it was a 6 cost, and I was just like, nope, 6 power here if you want to read it. So we're going to go 6 with the Don into leader. Again, the 2 Don, and then the leader ability gives it +1. Which is also why the Zoro deck is really good. You just have a wide enough board that 1 Don distributed among all your characters is just super useful. Like, if I had more Don, this 1 Don is giving 2 additional power. You know, for each character, it's just giving 1 additional power. And then we go Don on at leader. For 6, he discards the 2-cost Garp, the Altart discard Garp. Alright, and turn gets passed back to him. Like, he's at 1 life, 7 Don. Me and my friends have playtested this a lot. The number of games that my opponents get to, like, 10 Don is somewhat, like, it's very infrequent. I feel like if your opponent gets to 10 Don, you're probably going to lose that game. Especially, like, if you let them get, like, 2 or 3 turns of 10 Don, you're losing. Anyway, he's going to play a Sakuzaki. He's going to KO the Dodon. I just wanted to make sure the Dodon, because in my mind, it might have been better to KO the Nami and then just attack into Dodon. He goes face for 5. I want the resource, so I am going to take it. Worst case scenario. Oh, he passes with 2 Don open. I don't know enough about black in this game. Actually, I still don't know enough about black. So I don't know what counters they have, but I know there's like one that adds, it's a 2 cost that adds 4. But we're going to play Whitebeard for 9. So he's my character, Zoro's going to be 7. I'm going to go 7 at leader. But I know there's a counter. Yeah, so I think he's actually going to play it. This is the 2 cost counter, and I think it KOs a 3 or less maybe. Basically, it adds 4, and then you get to KO something. It's basically the cost equivalent of Gum Gum Pistol Red Hawk. And we pass back to my opponent, and he's at that 10 Don stage. So, you know, this is the point where, I mean, like, my board is a Whitebeard, so a low-cost blocker isn't going to really do anything. That being said, black does have some very good blockers. They have blockers that can't be KO'd, so with Borsellino. They have, well, you can see the Hina right now, a blocker that makes another character unable to attack. Like, they can actually put up quite a wall, and for red it's hard to deal with, because most of red's removal, actually, if not all of red's removal, is just KOing. Like, Jet Pistol is a KO, my Vistas, my Robins, my Whitebeards are all KOs. And so if he puts up like a Borsellino, I can't just get rid of it. I literally have to attack into it. Borsellino on its own against like red really just stalls one attack. It's really, really good. Anywho, he plays a Kuzan to draw one. I think he's trying just to get additional resources. He has to put a blocker down, and the only 2 I saw in hand, well, he had a Hina, a Rosinante, and a Borsellino. He's going to go 7, or that's 9 face. Oh yeah, my leader's at 7. I completely forgot. Yeah, so he goes 9 face. I take it. He's clearly the better player because I just realized when he attached 2 down to Smoker, he was actually aware that my leader was at 7. All right, and then he's going to play 2 Rosinantes. I think actually this might have been a bad play because Whitebeard is for 2 Don is just going to clear one of them for sure. And if I have a rusher, it's just like you can't stop the Whitebeard attack. And if I have a rusher, you can't stop that. I guess, like, I don't know. It's like for 2 Don, you're playing 2 blockers, one of which you get to choose when. But if you played 4 Don and played like Borsellino or even like Hina, yeah, like, see, like, we play Vista KOs one of the Rosinantes. He has 3 cards in hand. I have a quantity of Don. Like, I can put 2 under my, oh, what's his name? I can put 2 under my Edward Newgate. And then just, like, kill the other guy. So for 2 Don, and then I have, what, 7? The issue is the order that I have to do this in. My other concern is, like, if I don't deal with the board, I might just die. So if I clear... Alright, sorry. Alright, like, if I clear board, I can deal 1 damage with my Zoro, and then I still have Whitebeard up. Like, I can clear Sakuzaki. Okay. So I'm going to Otama the Kuzan to make it cost 3. I don't remember. I remember doing this. I just don't remember why I did this. I go Edward into Sakuzaki, KO the Kuzan, and he is going to block. I think I just wanted to make sure I don't take any damage, and then, like, next turn I can just do Zoro things. So we put 1 under Zoro. I should really just go face here, honestly. Like, he has 2 attacks. I don't think there's any black rushers. I'm not quite sure what my other 3 cost is, though. Like, I have 3 Don active, so I'm not quite sure what I want to play. Okay. Yeah, it looks like I don't really want to play anything. I think, yep, I go 8 into Sakuzaki. Yeah. I think he thought I was going life, but I am going into Sakazaki. It looks like he's debating. He is going to let it go, and I pass back to him. So now he only has one character on board. Whitebeard would require him to attach at least 5 Dawn, which would give him 5 more Dawn to play with. And that's only just to, like, just to go even with the Whitebeard. Actually, because of leader ability, he would be able to go over 1. But I think I have, like, at least 3 or 4 cards in hand. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so I have 3 cards in hand. So yeah, let's see here. Some interesting cards. We got Helmeppo, Tashigi, both from the starter deck. That's the other thing, is I don't know enough about the starter deck to really know what's in there. I know that there's a 7-cost smoker that does double hit if there's a 0 cost. Okay, and I think this was a little bit overkill, but 16 into Whitebeard, which, yep, I have only 3 cards, so there's no way to stop that. Turn gets passed back to me, and given Zoro's ability, I should be able to wrap this up, even if I just want to, like, I can put 4 under Otama. I honestly don't even have to put it under Otama. I could just put enough on Vista and then enough on Zoro, and he either has to counter out of all of it. So that's Vista at 5. I go 5 at lead. He counters out of it. Oh, okay. So I've rushed Zoro. I probably have another rusher if I'm doing this. Yeah, because I have 2 extra Dawn. We go, that is 8 at leader. He takes it, and then we just go the full 9 at leader. And that would require 3 cards. So yeah, and he doesn't have it. So that's GG. And that wraps it up. And that's Red Zoro. I like this deck a lot. Let me know down what you guys think about this deck. I know it gets a lot of hate because it's arguably one of the best decks in the format. But let me know what you guys think about the deck, gameplay, any mistakes I probably made. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.